Chapter 2. Love Isn't Enough. The next morning felt worse than the night. Everything hurt. My neck, my back, my head. I woke up still leaning against Nathan's shoulder. He was already wide awake, staring straight ahead through the windshield. He didn't even move when I lifted my head. "Did you sleep?" I asked, my voice raspy. "Nah," he said flatly. He didn't look like he had even tried. I sat up slowly. The Fairway parking lot looked completely different in the morning light. It was louder now, filled with people moving and cars pulling in and out. We weren't invisible in the dark anymore. Nathan started the engine without saying a word. "We're going to see him," he said, turning the wheel. "Mr. Marvin." I nodded. I didn't ask anything else. The drive wasn't long, but it felt like an eternity. Nathan tapped his fingers against the steering wheel the whole time, fast and restless. Finally, we pulled up to a small building. It didn't look like an office. It looked like a run-down house turned into a business with a faded sign out front. Half the letters were barely hanging on. "This is him," Nathan said. I nodded again. We got out of the car and walked up to the porch. Nathan knocked twice. A second later, a man opened the door. He was older, maybe in his late 40s, and he looked at Nathan first before shifting his gaze to me. "Hey, Mr. Marvin," Nathan said, his voice tight. "Can we talk?" "Yeah," Marvin said slowly, leaning against the doorframe. "What's up?" "My dad. He died," Nathan said. The words made something shift in the man's face. The harsh edge in his eyes softened. "I'm sorry to hear that," Marvin said. "Marcus was a good man." A long pause stretched between them. The man looked at Nathan a second longer, then stepped back into the hallway. "Come in." The place smelled like old paper, weed, and stale air. We sat across from him at a small wooden table. Nathan leaned forward slightly, trying his best to look composed and mature. "I wanted to know if you might be able to help us get a place," Nathan said, getting straight to the point. "Just temporary or something." Mr. Marvin didn't answer right away. He just looked at us, his eyes scanning our wrinkled, slept-in clothes. "You boys working?" he asked. Nathan hesitated. "Not yet," he admitted, "but we can, and we will." "You got money?" Marvin asked. Another heavy pause. "Not a lot," Nathan said. "How old are you?" 17, Nathan whispered. Mr. Marvin leaned back in his chair. He exhaled a slow, heavy breath through his nose. "That's a problem," he said. "I can't legally rent to two 17-year-olds. I'm the one who helped your dad get his house," he added. "What happened to that?" He looked at both of us again, his eyes narrowing. "You two didn't run away, did you?" Silence filled the room. Nathan leaned forward even more, desperate. "I'll work," he said quickly. "I'll get a job. I can pay you back. I just need somewhere to stay for a little bit. Please, sir?" Mr. Marvin shook his head. "It doesn't work like that, Nathan. You need to go back home. Where's your mom?" "Dead," Nathan said flatly. "Just like I'll be if you don't help me. Please." Nathan's hands tightened into fists on top of the table. "I'm not asking for a free ride," he said. "I'll handle it." "With what?" Mr. Marvin asked calmly. Nathan didn't answer right away because he didn't have an answer. "You don't have a real ID for a lease," Marvin continued, his voice practical but cold. No income, no deposit. If I put you in a room, I'm liable. That's my name on it. I'm the one paying for it. Nathan swallowed hard. I just need a chance. Mr. Marvin looked at him for a long, agonizing second. Your dad was a good man, he said softly. A spark of hope flashed across Nathan's face. Then Marvin kept talking. But I can't help you like that, Nathan. It's irresponsible. Go home. And just like that, the hope vanished. Nathan blinked, looking like his brain couldn't even process the rejection. Please, he begged suddenly, his voice cracking. I legally can't, Nathan. An uncomfortable, heavy silence filled the small room. I looked down at my hands, unable to watch. Nathan let out a short, bitter breath and ran his hand over his face. So that's it, Nathan said, his voice rising. You're just going to let us die on the streets, leave us homeless, 2 17-year-olds? Part of growing up is realizing sympathy doesn't get you anywhere, Nathan, Marvin said. Nathan laughed once, a sharp, ugly sound. I see. He stood up fast, his chair scraping loudly against the floorboards. Come on, he muttered to me. I stood up immediately and followed him. We didn't say another word to the man. Nathan walked ahead of me, moving so fast I had to jog to catch up. He didn't look back, and he didn't slow down. By the time we reached the sedan, his hands were shaking violently. He yanked the door open, got in, and slammed it. I got in much slower, closing my door quietly. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then Nathan punched the steering wheel, hard. Fuck! He muttered. I flinched slightly at the sudden noise. He leaned forward, resting his forehead against his trembling hands. His breathing was shallow and uneven. I thought he would rent to us, he said, his voice sounding smaller and incredibly tired. He owns a whole complex and he can't just let us fucking stay. I really thought this would work. I didn't know what to say to fix it. So I said nothing. Nathan sat there a second longer, then finally sat back against the headrest. He wiped his face and stared straight ahead at the road. We're gonna figure it out, he said. But this time, it didn't sound like he believed a single word.